Trigonometry, 6.4 to 6.6, graphing trig functions continued. So we're going to get more complicated, and that's really how life works. Starts easy and it consistently gets more complicated, so might as well make math just like that. How do we graph with a number here? I can actually, well, I probably could. I don't know how I'd do it. List out everything, but what we're doing is we're saying the period is equal to 2 pi over, we call it a b value. That's the number in front of the variable. In this case, the variable is theta. So let's do a quick one. Amplitude equals 1. The period equals 2 pi over 2 equals pi. This is now pi, that's the period. This is pi over 2, it's half. Half again is pi over 4. This is 3 pi over 4 because we go 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4. Otherwise, everything's the same. You may note, hey, that's kind of cheating. You're really not doing anything different. It's the exact same looking graph. And I'll say, yep, it really is. But we've changed the domain, the x-axis, so that it matches up with what our problem is. Now, what happens if we throw something out here? It shifts it. If you remember, inside parentheses in mathematics, things are always backwards. So the horizontal shift is pi over 4, and I say to the right. Now, I've seen it done where people say that's positive, meaning to the right, and negative, negative, and I write it out, left, right. There's no confusion. If there's a professor somewhere in your world who says, no, 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 you have to have a certain way, then do it his way. But I don't have a problem with doing it this way because I know I'll get it right. So, two pi, pi over 2, 1, 2, 3 pi over 2, and up 1, down 1. I'm going to put this in pi over 4, 1 pi, 2, 3 pi over 4, 4, 5 pi over 4, 6, 7 pi over 4, 8, 9 pi over 4. Because here's my original graph. Everything looks good. Nothing's really changed. Oh, we're going to go here, 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 here. But it all got shifted to the right. This point's now here. This point, wrong. This point's now here. This point's now here. This point's now here. This point's now here. I feel like I've done something wrong. I have. Here, and this point now is here. Question, do you have to dot in the original graph? No, but I recommend it. Do you have to make it dotted? You can make it light with a pencil and then dark for the final one. Just make sure it's clear. That's a horizontal shift. Everything's all put together now. K is your vertical shift. 2 pi over b is your period. A is your amplitude, absolute value. And this is your horizontal shift. I'll abbreviate every chance I get. So this is it. This is as complicated as it gets for sine or cosine. Well, there's always something more complicated we can do. 2 pi over 1/2, 4 pi. Hope you know the algebra on that one. I'm not going to go over it. All right, I am going to go over it. 2 pi divided by 1/2 is 2 pi times 2. Get that down. It'll save you so much aggravation in higher level math. Vertical shift is 1. Horizontal shift is pi to the right. Four pi, half is 2 pi, half is pi. 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. I'm going to need 5 pi because I'm shifting out there. Graphing cosine, start at the top. Shift it to the right. Now, a lot of people are confused. I don't know how far to shift it. We're shifting pi, which is 1 tick mark. So shift everything 1 tick mark. Previous problem, we were shifting pi over 4, which was half a tick mark. Those stink because you have to write them all in. This one's kind of nice. I only have to write in 5 pi. This is a big mistake that's made often. I shouldn't write mistake. That's misleading. People forget to write the extra tick mark, and I have to take a point off when I grade tests. Gotta write it all out. This is a good time to pause and try on your own. Don't have to put the negative there. I like it. A lot of people stop and go, whoa, whoa, where's the period? It's 2 pi over 3. I don't have to write anything else. I'm done. This is a nice complicated one too, so I'll help you out by showing it to you. Horizontal shift is pi over 3 left. Two pi over 3. Hang on, let me dot some lines in here and try and avoid them. 2 pi over 3, half of that is pi over 3. Half of that is pi over 6. 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, also known as pi over 2. We have a shift of pi over 3 to the left. That's 2 tick marks. Negative pi over 6. Negative pi over 3. Okay, graphing sine, negative, it's going to go down. Shift it left, 2 tick marks. Done. It's not perfectly to scale, but it's pretty good. So, like I said, life always gets more complicated. Let's give you a little twist. Y equals cosine. This is not factored. All the techniques I've shown you don't work unless it's factored. Y equals cosine of 2 pi. Got to pull it all out. Leave the variable alone. Minus 1/2. I try and explain this to people. They never believe me. I'm not very good at factoring, but I am very good at distributing. So let's see how I did. 2 pi times 1/2 equals pi. Sweet, I did it right. So I always just kind of factor as best I can and then check it. Off we go again. Shifting to the right, so leave myself some space out there. Now let's do all our work. Amplitude 1, period 2 pi over 2 pi 1. 1, 1/2, 1/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And I have a feeling that might come in handy. And that too. Vertical shift 0, horizontal shift, 1/2 to the right. Notice that pi has vanished out of all of this. It's fine. It's no big deal at all. Cosine starts at the top, goes to the bottom, shifts 1/2 to the right. Done. No pi in all the domain in it. Doesn't matter. Done. So, good practice for you. Go to it. I'm going to knock it out quick. Oh no, we're going to get some weird fractions. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to do that. Everything's shifting up. I want to leave myself more room up. So, 1, 2, 3. Notice when I make my tick marks by the numbers above, I don't even come close. I leave a big gap here. That's so people don't suddenly think it's a negative for some weird reason. You'd probably say, well, that's not going to happen. You'd be surprised. Pi over 3, half, pi over 6, pi over 12. Holy heck. 1 pi over 12, 2 pi over 12, 3 pi over 12, 4 pi over 12, negative pi over 12, negative pi over 6. Negative cosine, start at the bottom. Shift it 2 over. Yeah, I forgot to dot it. That's it. Wow. That's a lot of math. Happy mathing.